Welcome back to the game plan, everybody, for episode 10. Noah Mueller here. MLB spring training is just kicked off, and it's time to review a whole lot of predictions as well as anticipation as the regular season is approaching very soon. So let's get into it. Okay, the first thing I'm going to go over here is the expectation for the big signings we had this offseason. I'm going to start, of course, with the highest paid player in MLB history, Juan Soto, signing to the New York Mets. I think this is going to be a big year for Soto. Last year, he had to be in the shadow of Judge for a while in the lineup card. Now he's got this great team with Lindor, Nimmo, Alonso back, all these different guys. This could be a great lineup. I expect another big year from Soto after his last year, which he hit the most home runs he has in any season as a player. And coming off that year, I'm expecting more and more momentum from Soto with the bat this year, as well as he can be pretty good in the field. I'm not sure if they're going to DH him or keep him in the field, but if anything, he'll be a decent left fielder. Next up, we got Roki Sasaki, the Japanese pitcher, signing with the LA Dodgers. And, I mean, the Dodgers' rotation is pretty overpowered as of right now. I mean, you have guys like Snell, Bobby Miller, Yamamoto, and now Sasaki. Sasaki was a great player in Japan, and I feel like a lot of that, it might take a little bit, but I feel like it's going to be a great translation to the MLB, considering he's only 22 and he's got a whole lot of career left in front of him. I believe when Yamamoto signed, he was kind of getting to an older-ish side of his 20s, maybe early 30s, but this should be a big year for Sasaki, and I expect the best from this Dodgers pitching rotation. Next up, we got Corbin Burns going from the Orioles to the Diamondbacks. He's flipped teams a couple times in the past couple of years, but the Diamondbacks is a great destination for him. I think their real lack was pitching here. They have a star-studded lineup. They did lose Christian Walker, the first baseman, but I mean this lineup is full of stars like Ketel Marte, Corbin Carroll, Dalton Varsho. Dalton Varsho isn't still there, but they got a whole lot of star power in that lineup, and Corbin Burns is going to be the ace coming out of the rotation, so I believe that he will have a great year, actually, on the Diamondbacks. I feel like the Diamondbacks need some revenge. I mean, went to the World Series 2 years ago. Last year, they didn't do so hot, so I feel like this is a comeback year for this Diamondbacks team, and I expect a whole lot out of them. And the last item I'm going to go over is Max Fried, the left-handed pitcher from the Braves, going over to the New York Yankees, who was a great move because the Yankees are honestly in desperate need of pitching, and they got a really good second-hand guy to go behind Garrett Cole and in front of Rodon. And a left-handed pitcher, it makes him pretty interesting of a player, but Max Fried has been kind of like a just above average player the last couple of years. But, I mean, he has a big chance here in New York to break out with the Yankees, and he's really a guy I'm kind of unsure of, considering he did get paid a lot of money, probably a little bit more than he should have, but I expect a decent year from Fried. I think he could be a good starting pitcher number 2. Next up, my best regular season record prediction. I'm going to do one for the AL on who had the best record in the AL and one in the best record in the NL. For the AL, I'm going to go to the New York Yankees. Once again, just like last year, the Yankees have a heck of a roster. And even with losing Soto, they gained a bunch of other separate pieces, which make this team pretty much evened out. More rounded out than they were last year, certainly. And I believe there's really no competition for the Yankees in the AL. I mean, the Guardians, but they always follow behind them. I have the Tigers finishing pretty high in the AL. I mean, it's more so a foot race for second place than it is for first, considering the Yankees are levels above these teams. For the NL, though, which is a very much tighter race, for regular season, I'm going to do a surprise. I'm actually going to have the New York Mets here having the best record over the Dodgers, which I know watching this, you're probably thinking, oh, but the Dodgers have all these signings. They have, like, infinite money at this point, and they're just signing everybody and anybody. That's true, but, I mean, the Mets, you see what they did last year, second half of the year. I mean, they blew up with not the greatest team, not the greatest rotation, and they made it all the way to the NLCS, which really meant something for this team. And now you have adding guys like Juan Soto, A.J. Minter out of the bullpen. I mean, this is a good team, as well as guys like Luis Angel Acuna, developing more and more in the offseason. And I don't have the Mets making the World Series. I'll go over that later. But I do have them getting the best record in the NL regular season. I think the regular season is really going to be where they blow up. We're going to take a quick break here before we get to my two last topics, my MVP prediction, or actually the last three topics, early MVP prediction, World Series prediction, as well as the biggest call-ups of the year. And we're back here on the game plan for my last three topics of the day. We're going to start up with the biggest call-ups over the offseason. First up, we're going to go James Wood for the Nationals, the left fielder who is a left-handed hitter. He's got a lot of pop in his bat, and this Nationals team, this farm system just continues to get better and better. He was the 14th ranked prospect in the MLB pipeline, and I have a feeling this kid's going to be good. It might take him a year to adjust the MLB level, but I do think he's going to be a good and great player. Next up, you got Max Meyer, the starting pitcher, the right-handed pitcher from the Miami Marlins farm system who just got called up. This guy, he's very good in the minor leagues. Very consistent ratio of pitches, as well as he has some heat on his fastball. I expect him to come into the rotation. And this Marlins rotation, besides their hitting, the rotation's been pretty solid. I think he's just going to bolster that a little bit. Next up, we have Colson Montgomery, the shortstop from the White Sox. White Sox really aren't a team that's going to do much of anything this year, but he could be a bright spot for this team. He's shortstop, left-handed hitter. I mean, this kid could really get it done as long as they put him in the right position to succeed. And my last prospect is Junior Caminero, the Rays third baseman who is ranked number 4 in the MLB pipeline, got called up this offseason. And, I mean, with the Rays farm system, they call up stars. I mean, they had Wander Franco a couple of years ago, who looked like a superstar. And this farm system doesn't really fail too much. So I have a good feeling that Caminero is going to do a lot of damage this year. But moving on to my early MVP predictions, these are going to be kind of surprising. For the AL, which is not so surprising, I have Bobby Witt Jr. winning this year. He's the runner-up last year. He had a heck of a season and brought the Royals to the playoffs. I think this is the year where he's going to really get over the hump and win that MVP. And he'd be one of the younger players to ever do so. I mean, Bobby Witt is still 23, 24, around there. It's unbelievable what he's done with this Royals team. And for the NL, I'm going to go a very unexpected pick here. You have guys like Ohtani, Soto now. I'm going to go Corbin Carroll from the Arizona Diamondbacks to win the NL MVP this year. The potential is there. The dude has had breakouts before. He brought this Diamondbacks team to a World Series just 2 years ago. And I really think this is the season where he breaks out, solidifies himself as a superstar in the MLB in general. And for the last topic, my early World Series prediction, I'm going to have the Yankees playing the San Diego Padres. I don't know who's going to win. I just have a good feeling. Tatis, Machado, this Padres team is really good. They could come out of nowhere. They're going to make the playoffs, and they could really come out of nowhere, have a great October, and make the World Series. And as for the Yankees, like I said earlier, every team is kind of just fighting for second place in the AL under the Yankees, considering how much better the Yankees are. That'll be it for the game plan. Next episode, we will be talking more about the MLB spring training as well as some off-season news for the NFL.